Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Juan Carlos Brando, and it's a pleasure for me to be here with you in this show with the attorney Margaret W. Wong, who is always giving us answers about the immigration field and the immigration law. And of course, she is going to be answering your questions today, as usual, as every Thursday at 12:30. Today we started a little bit earlier because we need to end a little bit earlier. And by the way, today is a very strange day because we don't have these days, but every 4 years. Today is February the 29th. And well, this is something for some people is interesting. For some people that are superstitious, it means something that could be good. For others, could be bad. But well, we are here and we want to help you out with your immigration case. So let's welcome the attorney Margaret W. Wong, who is always in a good shape, in a good looking, in good luck as well. So talking to her brings you a lot of good energy and also brings you a relief in your immigration case. So let's welcome the attorney. Hello, Ms. Wong. How are you doing today?
I'm good, and thank you, Mr. Juan Carlos.
Ms. Wong, are you superstitious?
Very superstitious.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. Interesting. And what do you think about February the 29th? Because some people are good with it, some other people are bad with it.
At that, I haven't thought too much. For me, it's just another day. But being a Catholic, I always pray to St. Jude's because St. Jude's is my saint. It's like the God of the impossible. So anytime I have difficult cases, I have a problem I couldn't solve, I pray to St. Jude's.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Well, in the city of Memphis, Tennessee, there is a hospital that is the name of St. Jude.
That's right. Yeah.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, which is an amazing hospital. I've been there in a
Wow.
conference, and it was a life-changing experience. Seeing what they can do for the kids, what they can do for children fighting cancer, and they do a lot. They don't only take care of the kids, but they also uh, do a lot of research that they send worldwide to all of the hospital across the world. But let's talk about immigration, Ms. Wong, because talking about hospitals and talking about that subject or topic, there are some people that probably have family or relatives that are fighting a terminal disease. Um, and they want either to go back to their countries to see that person before they pass away, or they want to come to the United States because the sick person is in the United States, but they don't have a way how to come because with tourist visas are really tough to get at the moment. So what can I do if I have a family relative in the United States? I am overseas and I want to come and see that person or take care of that person before something happens. Is
In
there
most
something I could do?
Yes, in most countries in the world, you have to wait for, especially after COVID, it's getting harder to get tourist visas. So in practically all countries in the world, except of course Afghanistan, Russia, Ukraine, uh, that part of the world, you could get TPS or parole, humanitarian or something. But even since the days I have been practicing, you have to wait for a tourist visa. If someone is really sick, you can apply for humanitarian parole. But in the past 1 or 2 years, because of all the difficulty in coming to America from the southern border, President Biden actually started family reunification camp program, CBP1, parole. And years ago, Chile had a parole program because of the bad government. But now but the law has always been, we just have to wait. It's only in the past 2 or 3 years, people are getting ideas, oh my gosh, I want to go visit because my husband is there and I could easily pass the border.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for these comments. And well, let's start answering questions from our audience today. And this one says, "Hi, Mrs. Wong. I am from Nigeria. I married a Dominican American man. I entered through Mexico, and he wants to petition for me. I have two kids that stayed in Nigeria are not his kids, and he would like to know how to help me and how to."
Okay, good question. I came to America undocumented. I left two kids behind. It's also Nigeria. In the olden days, it's more China and Korea. We have very high fraud. Now it's Vietnam and Nigeria. Nigeria has always been a high fraud place. So make sure whoever is the father of these two kids, make sure the names are clearly there. If you married them, you need to attach the marriage certificate because Nigeria, because this is just a different culture, different religion. So basically, there are two cases. Number one, how do I bring my two kids to America? Number two, how could I get my green card? Let's go to the two kids first. The two kids, as long as you married the American man before the kids were 18 years old, not 21, before you were 18, you can do it now. You don't need your case to be approved before he does the kids. So as long as he's willing to help you bring the kids over, he's a stepfather, file the I-130. It takes about 3 months to 6 months to 9 months for approval. At the back of the form, third last page of form, say Nigeria. Then the kids will have to go there for interview. Make sure the kids know there's another man in your life. Make sure they talk on a Zoom because we have a lot of these cases like that. When they go to interview, they're very young, these kids. They don't know. The American embassy would ask, do you know you have a new father? No. Have you ever met him on a Zoom? No. Whenever you talk to your mother who's next to her, oh, just my mother, or my mother and my father, I'm like, what? You're supposed to have a new husband, you know? So these are things that make sure the kids know. But if everything works, because it's Nigeria, they don't listen. So it takes about 1.5 to 2 years to bring the two kids over, but that could be done. Don't wait for you. Now, for you, you're undocumented, and it depends on how many times you're married, you're divorced. Also, I don't know if you filed for a non-immigrant visa before you come to America, and you make sure you remember, because a lot of my clients, they say they were married because it's easier to get a tourist visa when you're married. So if you say you were married, you have to remember the name of the man you were married to. We have a lot of times we forgot they were married, right? So they now marry a new man and never got a divorce. Now American embassy will deny it. I mean, the I-130 may or may not be denied. And then we do the I-1, and then you need a 601A. Then you need 601A takes 4.5 years. Then by the time you go to the American embassy for the interview, which is another 9 months to 1 year, the whole case would take up to 5.5 years. Now they said, oh, remember when you applied for tourist visa, you said you were married. Where's the divorce? And now you say, well, I really actually lied. I was never married, or I was already divorced. So these are very common scenarios. Another common scenario is you were married and somehow right before, so when you apply, you were married, right? You just like a week ago, you married someone with his name and stuff. And then before you came to America, you filed for divorce. Then after you came to America, you divorced this man. So immediately you married a new man. Immigration is going to look at that. Another case scenario is both of you went together. A real husband, real wife went to American embassy in Nigeria to get the tourist visa, saying that they want to travel together, and you traveled together to America. Now you came on the same manifesto. That means you came sitting next to a plane, next to each other, or with a child in between, because they could see who's sitting on what seat. Now you come to America, you divorce each other like 3 months after entry, because in America you get a divorce in 2 months. And now each of you marry someone else like in less than 6 months, right? So the husband normally takes care of the child. So the husband would have sole custody. Now a new wife support. These are things that you have to be very, very careful, because they can, and it's not fair because you are from Nigeria, Ghana is another country. They will cross-check when you married, when you divorce, is normally it's parallel. Like on January 1st, I married a new woman. On March 3rd, my wife married someone, my ex-wife, but the tax return is still the same address. So my advice is always don't file the same tax return with the same. I mean, these are issues. I can tell you scenarios. But to answer your case would take about 4.5 to 6 years. But get the kids over first before you do anything. Remember what you did and told American Embassy, because normally we have clients who apply for the tourist visa once or twice, is denied, now they came undocumented, and now they marry. So be careful. If you had done that, be careful what you told them. If you did tell them you were married and you were legally divorced, the divorce cannot be a village divorce. It has to be a real Nigerian court divorce. If you want to check if it's a real divorce, in the olden days we have FAM. Now there's no more FAM. It's all immigration policy, all the adjudicated menu. I mean, it's all there. So you need to go. It's all on the web. In the olden days, I still remember we borrow from each other because these books are expensive, So we run around town, borrow. I used to borrow from Legal Aid, and then other big law firms, or go to a library. It's just, those were the good fun days.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And yeah, it's interesting how every single case has its own story. So that's why you need to talk to an attorney, because if you talk to someone that had a case and maybe that case was positive or maybe the case was negative, then your case can be different, because everything is different in immigration. The day that you entered, how many family you have, if you have been a victim of a crime, if you have not been victim of a crime, depending on the country that you are coming from. So there's a bunch of possibilities that you could be seeing, and you will never know if you only talk to your neighbor, but not to an immigration attorney like the attorney Margaret W. Wong. Okay, Ms. Wong, let's go ahead with the next question. This one says, I am from India. My husband was petitioning for me, but he passed away 6 months ago. What happens with my petition?
That's awesome. Actually, it's good because there's nobody to question if it's a real marriage or phony marriage. If you, I don't know if you came legally or illegally. If you came legally, I presume you already did the 485. You can switch that if you already have a conditional temporary green card. Now you filed a 751. If you never have the green card, you need to substitute the I-130, which I presume is not approved yet. You need to automatic. If not, do the 360. I came illegally. I'm so sorry. So I came illegally. I'm very sorry, which means that absolutely the husband can continue to petition for you, because on the day of his passing, you are in America. So, but he died. So you need to change it to a 360. But the problem is, because you came undocumented, now you have to file. Now, when it goes to national, because you cannot adjust in America, so you have to go to National Visa Center. Legally, 601A, if he died, is automatic hardship. Also, it's a real case. So it's good. You have 2 kids. I don't know if you ever did DNA testing. Also, how did he, I presume you already have 2 kids with this person. How come when he got green card, did not sponsor your 2 kids? How did he get the green card? Is he Puerto Rican, black or white, or is he from India? Who is the father of the, okay, you'd better talk to me on this case. I sort of know the scenario already. These are profile cases. The 2 kids, if they are American citizens, depends on how old they are. Talk to me.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. It's better not. Yeah. This is a problem, because if it's a new, okay, talk to me, because we do a lot of cases like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So just talk to the attorney Margaret W. Wong,
or some good lawyer who does Asian cases, because these are very Asian.
Yeah, well, but if I would recommend someone that knows about Asian cases, I would recommend your law firm, because I know you have very qualified people in these kind of cases, and especially working with people from India and that have different kind of cases. So if you can talk to the attorney Margaret W. Wong, she may be able to help you out, and just to clarify all of the details of this case. That I'm sure She knows how to help you out, and she also has the people that can handle your case in the correct way. So please give us a call. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. The next question is, hello, Mrs. Wong and team. How can I request a bond for a person that is detained with immigration?
That's a really, really good question. Something new just started, I think, because under Trump, if someone already have a final order, normally they reinstate the final order and they deport them. It depends. I presume someone is in immigration. You can actually call, but or get a lawyer to call. Normally, if they already have a criminal record or something, immigration normally won't give you a bond. So you have to request a judge for a bond. And be careful, because you know how the web now, they have the master calendar date or IH date or some the bond hearing date, they don't put it on the web, so you may miss it. And then they thought you don't care about the person. It turned out you didn't know, because they don't, by the time they send you a notice, the mail is so slow that you already passed the bonding deadline. Make sure, if the person have a criminal record, make sure you get a certified judgment entry. If they have American citizen or green card family or friends or children or spouse or someone, always, it doesn't hurt to get a letter from them to say they're financially responsible. But I would not ask for bond yourself, because if you lose the bond, and immigration lawyers, judges are really not that nice. They're actually worse than regular court judges, because most common pleas court, Ohio Supreme Court, most court judges, they're elected by the people, and they know they better be nice, because people can badmouth them. Immigration judges, they don't. They just, it's a job for them. So I would not request bond yourself, because there may be things you don't know. Get a good lawyer. Even though Biden's position now is he tries not to deport, but don't play with the system. I mean, you need the guy out and then fight the case. Because if you lose the bond, they're going to keep this person, man or woman. Then you have to fight the case when they were in detention. You couldn't, because then they do very fast. They do it in about 3 or 4 months. You don't have time to prepare, especially if they have sick kids. Those are good cases.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And well, interesting cases that we're getting today. Immigration hold is
Exactly.
is,
Thank you. Yeah,
is
Mr. Juan
difficult.
Carlos, you got it. It's immigration detainer, immigration hold. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
thank you.
it's difficult because you don't know if they want to give you a bond. And even though some bonds, for example, in Georgia, they are requesting bonds of $20,000, $12,000, even $24,000, and you can find a bond company, but then what happens if you don't show up? They are gonna have to file a lawsuit against you. It's a lot of problems. So just be careful. Don't do anything like Miss Wong says. Don't do anything stupid. And try to get in touch with a good attorney like the attorney Margaret W. Wong. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. I live in Chicago. I entered 2 times through Canada. I filed asylum. A friend of mine gave me a job and wants to know if he can file a petition to help me. I
Okay,
am from Bangladesh, and my
right.
friend runs a
What
donkey.
you're talking about is a parallel track case. My friend, I mean, there's such a lack of good workers nowadays, especially from Bangladeshi, which means that you work very hard. I mean, I'm generalizing, but most people from countries like ours, we work very hard just to make a living and to support our families. So you have 2 cases. Number one, you entered through Canada twice. You probably already have a court file. You filed for asylum. So I would like to know if you already had a removal. When you say twice, were you just kicked out at the border and come back and kicked out? And did they kick you back to Bangladesh and you came back through Canada? Again, depends, because Mexicans, they are catch and release, voluntary return, which means you have no deportation. Expeditious removal, you have deportation. But Bangladesh, I don't know if they just kick you out to Canada, you come back, kick you out. So it depends, right? what your friend is saying, that I would like you to work for me, I will get you a green card. The nice thing about Bangladesh is not India and China. India, it takes about 8 to 12 years to get a perm green card, EB3. China takes 5 or 6 years, but it's Bangladesh, so you're only about 3 years. Because you already have, and that's a very good question. Because you already have a case here, and you never came documented, I would not waste the money to do the perm and the I-140 and do all the advertising, because you will win the perm, you will win the I-140, but you would not be able to use the I-140 with the EB3 to get a work permit or green card. So the only thing you can do, and I don't know if you have family back home, so because you enter undocumented, unless you're paroled, which I don't think so, because southern borders sometimes get paroled, but not northern. So I would not do a perm. So the answer is yes, they can petition for you. Yes, any lawyer worth any salt. I shouldn't say that. The employment-based lawyers will kill me. But any good lawyer can win a perm, because Dunkin' Donuts make money, because you need to look at number 21 of the US tax return from that Dunkin' Donuts store, because it's a franchisee. And I'm sure you can do it. You could win that, but it doesn't mean you win the green card and the work permit. The only way you can get green card for undocumented people is either win asylum or win withholding.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. And yeah, well, it's an interesting situation that I know many people are going through. But if they want more answers, they can call you and they can talk to you. So tomorrow, Ms. Wong, you are going to be in Nashville, right?
Yes.
City of Nashville gets ready for Ms. Wong tomorrow, and she will be taking care of many cases and many people that want to talk to her. So make sure that you make your appointment if you are in Nashville. And the phone number is 216-279-3984. Then Monday, are you going to be in Cleveland, Ms. Wong?
Yes, I'll be here. Yes.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday next week, Ms. Wong will be in Cleveland. Then Thursday, she will be in Atlanta. And Friday, she will be in Columbus, Ohio. Well, today we have to dismiss right now because Ms. Wong has another appointment in just a couple minutes. But thank you so much for everyone for joining us today. Ms. Wong, thank you so much for having us today, and best wishes for next for what's coming up.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Don't forget, the attorney Margaret W. Wong and her team are ready to take care of your immigration needs. So the phone number that you need to call is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984, attorneys in the law firm of Margaret W. Wong and Associates. Thank you so much, and see you next time.